When the brand new Disney Plus series, Marvel's She-Hulk, announced that rapper Megan Thee Stallion would be entering their famed cinematic universe with a cameo, it led many to wonder how there was enough budget for these A-list appearances amongst swarming reports of Marvel's overworked and underpaid visual effects artists. And after seeing said visual effects for myself, I can confirm it definitely looks like this is the art of people who are suffering from workplace abuse. Such a cartoonish looking pantsuit. Who hurt you? Was it Mickey or Minnie? Somebody's gotta take responsibility for this show's habit for completely ruining otherwise funny performances with terrible CGI, its crossover characters who you'll only recognize if you're sitting on a fistful of Infinity Stones, and overhyped cameos that are treated like the death of a royal family member. Meaning they create headlines for a lot of little nothing articles, but don't actually matter in the grand scheme of things. It's time to get in line so we can all view the coffin of She-Hulk featuring Megan Thee Stallion and another Marvel-inducing installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV movies, and other content found here on the web. And we dive into it face first, like Superman's friend from another company, Spider-Man, and break it down into little clips so we can say issue by issue where we went wrong in the canon of the characters and the fandom and the cinematic universe. I'm so tired of Marvel. When I talk about it, I lose my mind. We'll get into it, but first make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns on trending Disney Plus content like this. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, mama. So turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to know when I'm web slinging from the 5th dimension of the book on the books, the comic books, the comic books, woo, woo. Listen, no, I'm not a huge fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's not because I'm against comic books. I think comic books are cool. I used to be obsessed with vintage Spider-Man growing up. I had the hardcover with the first issues. I loved it. And I do think comic book illustration and art and all of that type of storytelling is fascinating. But that's not what I'm talking about here, okay, Marvel? Okay, Marvelous Miss Maisie. And I can even admit that some of the Marvel movies that I've seen, I guess, look good or are good, but I mean, it's just all become a little too corporate for my taste. But I'll still point out what I think is working and what I think is not as we go through this episode 3 of She-Hulk, which is a show I didn't really understand what it was about, but I did see all over Twitter that Megan Thee Stallion is entering the cinematic universe, which is like such a very highfalutin term. If you've noticed in the news, they're like, oh my God, this can of soda is in the cinematic universe. Like, it was in a movie under the umbrella. We get it. That makes it sound like Megan Thee Stallion is coming up on here as a full-on X-Men. It's just a cameo in a show. But anyway, thankfully, it seems like they were prepared for this to be the first episode for a lot of people watching. First and only for me. Basically, this show, which is called in full She-Hulk Attorney at Law, is about a lawyer, Jennifer Walters, who gets the Hulk's blood in her, so she sometimes turns into a 6'7" Hulk herself, and she's hired to work in the superhero division of this law firm, so that she's like working on the cases of superheroes and villains who are in trouble with the law. And right off the bat, you get the sense that this show is not like other shows. They do things funny.
Just Wong, a sorcerer who lives in New York.
I know you can't wait to see Wong. I get it. I just want to make sure that you don't think this is one of those cameo every week type of shows.
Girl, this is probably not even an I'm gonna watch it ever again type of show. Put that fourth wall back up and get the story going. They're researching a new client, Wong, and I'm like, how is that guy a cameo too? I thought Megan Thee Stallion. I don't count it as a cameo if it's just from another Marvel property. That's just trying to sell toys. So please don't introduce Mr. Wong here like he's some sort of mutual friend. Especially if in order to meet him, I would have had to see all 3 Iron Man movies, the second to last Doctor Strange post-credit scene, and know his Blu-ray exclusive music video backstory. That's a lot of research. Like, what the f I could barely bring myself to watch this because it's wasting my time. That being said, it is impossible to ignore that Disney and the MCU are able to hire some of the best creative minds, and it definitely shows in certain aspects of this. I love the cast. Tatiana Maslany, who plays Jennifer / She-Hulk. I adore her. She was in Orphan Black. But the art direction is also great in some ways, like how her costume is oversized so that she can Hulk out comfortably, or I don't know, subtle product placement for both Apple iPhone and CarPlay. Generously furnished by Arpul. But then, right off the bat, there are other things that look a little weird already, like the weird cartoon buildings outside the window, or how all the men in the cast get three-piece suits. But then this assistant is shown sitting in such a way that makes her look completely pantless. This show is trying to do a lot for like feminism and like normalizing the woman in the workplace, which I love, but maybe not every character has to be a conventionally attractive thin woman with zero clothes on. I don't know. You tell me, Marble. It's your marble-licious marble cake. For example, you see the public kind of freaking out online after Jennifer / She-Hulk is assigned to defend a supervillain named Destruction? I don't know. Abomination. She's defending a superhero named Abomination. Villain. Whatever. So people are like, what? We had the Me Too movement? Now we have to have woman superheroes? And guys online being like, I'd hit it. Or I'd smash. Get it? Because Hulk smashes things. I love Red Bull. So as a newly She-Hulky lawyer, Jennifer is coming to terms with the fact that she might need to control her narrative here and accept some of the interviews she's being invited on.
You're a public figure now.
People only care because I'm representing Emil Blonsky. Once that's over, this whole media circus will die down.
No.
Mama, you're a high-profile lawyer who seemingly turns into the Jolly Green Giant at random moments. That's famous forever type shit. When you have a baby, do you really think that People magazine won't want to ask what color your breast milk is? Grow up, She-Hulk. And tell us what color your breast milk is. We, the people, want to know. And I'm not a beauty editor, but I know they will want her to explain how come when She-Hulks, her hair type changes from thick and curly to short and straight. And then sometimes it's like a 23-inch Amazon party wig with green streaks. It's probably the result of that rushed CGI we were talking about, but she needs to make a statement. Otherwise, the chemists from those home perm companies are gonna be trying to scrape her stem cells out of a public toilet bowl. Who wouldn't want to replicate that in their formulas? It's hair magic. This is really where I was like, what am I looking at? Because clearly they had the actress Tatiana Maslany on set, and then they painted over her in this, I'm not sure how they do it, way where they make her hands bigger and her taller, but I'm like, it just doesn't look real to me. It looks very distracting. And she sounds like it sounds like when Macaulay Culkin became a cartoon in The Page Master, where you're like, I know that's the actor's real voice, but I cannot picture them anymore because I'm seeing this character on screen, this clowny character. Also, I get that the show is saying a lot of really important stuff about, you know, women in the workplace and how the media treats them, but I feel like it's also sort of making it seem like someone would have to become a She-Hulk to highlight those issues. As though there aren't normal, everyday, human, non-Hulk people working in law offices who have also experienced impossible challenges because of the color of their skin or their body size. No shade to Tatiana here, but I mean, casting a conventionally attractive white woman who is suddenly thrust into a sci-fi situation where she suddenly gets to experience discrimination based on size or color or hair, which, by the way, suddenly gets more westernized and glam, which is often deemed more professional than naturally curly black hair in hairstyles that are significant to black culture. It just seems like, what are you trying to say here? Like, yes, those types of discrimination and problems exist for women, but you don't have to be a Hulk to experience that. I don't know if Disney is capable of putting that type of main character on screen. I guess not. And that's to say nothing of how the CGI just completely destroys the actress's performance. How is Disney Plus going to increase the prices of ad-free streaming services while She-Hulk is serving Scorpion King realness for the whole first season? In every shot, there's maybe one single frame that doesn't look like full-on Crash Bandicoot from PlayStation 2. Here, let's look frame by frame and see. And there it is. This part looks fine with its current level of render. wondering. I give it that. I don't know if you've noticed, but the fall season is in full swing, which for me means a busier schedule than ever before. Luckily, getting weeknight meals on the table is easier than ever thanks to the sponsor of today's video, EveryPlate. You already know EveryPlate is America's best value meal kit and my personal savior for over a year now. If your weekdays are getting jam-packed like mine, then EveryPlate will help you get delicious meals without breaking the bank. And if you're like I used to be and think any sort of meal kit is too expensive, you're in for a treat, no trick. EveryPlate is 25% less expensive than grocery shopping. And when food prices are going up everywhere, I really love being able to count on the great value of EveryPlate's delicious ingredients, while also being way more affordable than those other meal delivery services I've tried. EveryPlate is also always thinking of new ways to help me get more out of my cooking experience. For a limited time, they even have big batch favorites. These recipes make twice the amount of food as their standard recipes, so I can either feed a crowd or, like I love to do, eat leftovers for lunch the next day. For me, home-cooked meals are the first healthy habit that I lose when my schedule starts getting hectic, but EveryPlate keeps me on track without even having to think about it. So get your first box for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com and entering code DiRamio149. Thanks EveryPlate for keeping me nourished with the good stuff while we spook ourselves out with the whatever it is we're looking at here. Anyway, for the main storyline of this episode, Jennifer is called in on like another case and she realizes, uh-oh, it's one of her ex-boyfriends. I don't know if he was introduced in a previous episode or what, but the case is he feels he's been defrauded by a mystical creature. It was like an ex-girlfriend who he spent a lot of money on.
The girlfriend in question is a shape-shifting light elf.
Well, to be fair, I thought I was dating Megan Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee Stallion? Multiple Grammy Award winner megastar Megan Thee Stallion?
Megan Thee, spelled with 2 E's, Stallion, McBody Yaddy 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 the third. Writer and performer of the lyrics, look college girl, but a freak on the weekend. Eat that dick up even when I'm going vegan? Like, yes, She-Hulk, that's the Megan Thee Stallion we're talking about. Now, who told you orange lipstick was the color for green skin? Spirit Halloween called. They want their Frankenstein witch and dead corpse face paint kit back. And you know they don't do refunds. You gotta love the in-text citation that lets the intergenerational audience know who this week's celebrity cameo is. If you want the Gen X grandmothers to know who Megan Thee Stallion is, can't you just find a reason to have that leggy assistant conspicuously show us on an iPad? So far in the Marvel universe, it sort of seems like that's why she was born. Also, I'm sorry, attorney She-Hulk, but you have full-on cartoon face right now. Does anyone else find it very distracting that the main character looks like the cover art for a Sims expansion pack? The mouth somehow looks two-dimensional to me, like the fish with dreadlocks in a DreamWorks movie, you know? The point is, this shape-shifting elf was being a Megan Thee Stallion imposter and causing all of this chaos.
I'm not really Megan.
Wow, they're being really stingy with Megan Thee screen time in the first couple acts of this thing, aren't they? Disney said, yeah, you can see her twerk, but it will be the very last scene. And it doesn't matter if you skip ahead because we'll play the same amount of ads anyway. Yeah, we got your children. By the way, this lawyer here is more familiar to me as RuPaul's hot fraudster boyfriend in the Netflix series AJ and the Queen. Yeah, it's as crazy as it sounds. Although, I am now 1 degree of separation away from him thanks to the fabulous friend of mine, James Mansfield. She also appeared in this show.
That kid's with my spare boob.
And that kid's name? Young Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, it's like Hamilton, but more sex. Go subscribe to James Mansfield's channel if you want to be as fascinated by hair artistry as I became after watching her, as well as baking videos from a domestic goddess, probably like a Greek goddess who lives in hell, but still. Speaking of please subscribe, if you scan that QR code under the video, you get an opportunity to read the comic book that inspired She-Hulk for free, and then pay to subscribe to Marvel Unlimited so you can continue to read more exclusive comic books. Marvel Unlimited. That's unlimited ways we're willing to advertise to you. Ding! Marvel. Obviously, there are plenty of people who want this content and are happy to pay to read digital comic books, but at what point are you eschewing advertising laws? If Disney Plus is able to put this up and any kid under 13 knows to scan that QR code so they can access this special deal. And beyond that, can't Disney just sell their comic book subscription like a normal company and not make people feel like they found a super secret Easter egg and therefore it's even more rewarding? I don't know. I'm just saying. As Ed Sheeran would say, I'm thinking out loud. She-Hulk loves her tiny car. Is that what he says? I like the part where he's drinking a Red Bull in this. That gets me going. I think I will too. Also, do you guys notice I'm eating fresh berries in this video? Just this fun little thing I'm trying called eating fruit. All throughout this episode, I get the feeling that they have to write around when the character is She-Hulk versus human Jennifer. Because like in this courtroom scene, she has to convey a lot of subtle kind of things with her looks, like just talking to the client without talking. And none of it would come across if it were painted over with the CGI that we've seen previously in this movie. You would think they would need like Avatar style motion capture, which they can do on set now. So maybe that's what they were doing and it's just not detailed enough in the final render, but it sort of defeats the purpose of having the character be She-Hulk if when you need an emotionally powerful facial expression, you have to make sure she's not She-Hulk for it. Anyway, she wins the case. There are plenty of funny moments. Like I would say go watch the full episode of this one because it's not that bad. I did laugh several times. I'm not sure this would be my kind of show forever. Like I think I get it from this, but I do appreciate the style of humor.
Dennis Bukowski.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna need that.
Connecting the A and B story? Nice.
That's me transforming an original work under fair use for the purpose of commentary, criticism, or education. And sometimes it's all three at once, if I'm feeling really horny. I think one of the reasons the Marvel Universe is so marketable is that it does make room for all of these different formats to still feel on brand. Like it can have this show that spins off into the lawyer part of the Marvel Universe, and it can use this meta humor and be self-aware, and it makes sense because of the multiverse of madness. I'm afraid to say anything wrong because the Marvel kids will be mean to me. Well, joke's on you, Marvel kids, because every hate view you give this video is just another fraction of a penny that goes towards my fair use three-ways. I have to buy lots of scented candles for when we perform the ritual. Commentary, criticism, education. Commentary, criticism, education. So, I don't know, we go to the court and the shape-shifting elf gets her punishment. She gets caught for shape-shifting. I promise they're gonna start sprinkling in some Megan Thee Stallion now here at the 23-minute mark, like they promised.
Oh, no, nine.
That's right. There's only one Megan Thee Stallion.
That's right, only one Megan Thee Stallion, 6 seconds of screen time, and a $200,000 appearance fee. Probably more. I'm not knocking it. I love Megan Thee Stallion. She deserves every penny. Also, I'm not saying it was nepotism that this little girl got to sit next to Megan Thee Stallion, but she is looking right in the camera right now and not being in character. Maybe that's intentional fourth wall breaking from an extra? Sorry about it. It's my job to call out nepotism whenever I see it, because it is illegal in this country for anybody to have a privilege that I don't have. It's called me-quality, and it's on the Declaration of Independence. Look it up, scholars, Marvel kids. Again, inconsistent hair with this She-Hulk character. Why couldn't they have just kept her to have... Oh, I think it's really complicated. If I remember anything from behind the scenes clips of the movie Brave by Pixar, it's complicated to do curly hair in CGI. So maybe that's why they had to give her this really generic looking straight hair that always looks different. Also, props to the movie for, in the most Disney way possible, hinting at satire around the fact that victims of assault are often blamed for being victims because of what they were wearing. I think that's what they're trying to say here. They're trying to make being a Hulk a lot like being a woman, which to me I'm like, I think being a woman is enough of like being a woman, Hulk.
If you're gonna strut around showing off your powers, you better be able to back it up.
When did I ever strut around and show off my powers?
Yeah, she's not showing off. She's barely even showing up on screen. They turned the brightness all the way down. Those underpaid visual effects workers told the producers, oh, we have a creative solution to hide how rushed all of this looks. You just have to shoot the entire show by candlelight. Ooh. Hey, can we have our annual phone call home to our families to let them know we're okay? Like, I'm seriously asking, does being a She-Hulk mean you get to choose a new hair length and color every time? Or is the She-Hulk just into wigs? If so, that's more information they should be conveying to me clumsily via iScreen. Anyway, now that the entire part of the show is over that matters, we can get the real substance of that cameo. Back when it, you know, wouldn't really affect the production schedule if Megan Thee Stallion pulled out at the last minute, is how I see it.
Just your signature there. And then just initial. Good.
That guy is me trying to figure out why I just had to sit through a whole episode of television for basically the same exact clip that Disney released on Twitter. It was kind of worth it though. Megan Thee Stallion looks amazing next to the She-Hulk. It's like the yassification of the Giving Tree. The eyeshadow, she's iconic. I guess this last shot was wish fulfillment for Tatiana Maslany, who one of the writers said, we had to give her dream of dancing with Megan Thee Stallion. I'm like, we need new dreams as a people. My dream is for the planet not to burn up and die. Not me admonishing her dance dreams.
You almost tasted that. Num 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 num, eat it up. Go play okay, 3, 2, 1. You know I'm the hottest. You ain't never gotta heat me up. I'm present.
No, stop. It's like they made some lady from the bank a character in Halo. You've heard of the Uncanny Valley, but this is the, what's that real life valley where everyone dies? Donald Trump's thigh crease? Yeah, that's the one. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. That's not, that can't be the dance. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. What is that? That's my Uncanny Valley. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Am I cool yet? Anyway. Oh, the show was shot in Georgia. How fun. I thought it was shot in Marvel Cinematic Universe. What do you all think of She-Hulk? Am I being too harsh on its visual effects? Do you think that it's completely saved by its pretty funny cast and good writing? You'll have to watch for yourself on Disney Plus and let me know. Ooh, if I have an affiliate link for that, we'll be cooking. So let me know your thoughts on She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. For me, I'm like, I don't know why we have to make women into the Hulk in order for men to relate to how hard it is to be a woman in this world, but if that's the key, then so be it, Marvel. Thanks for solving sexism for us. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, but also give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more Disney Plus or Marvel breakdowns here on Clip Breakdown. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to know when I've got body yaddy 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 coming down the pipe. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you for getting your law degree as a tall woman with me today. I will see you next time.